Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Finish it off with the tight ends. Obviously, a position where it's top heavy, and then there's just the rest. Either you spend the premium on it, the position in which I'm starting to think it's more of a valuable thing to do is spend the premium on that position because the gap is just insane. Like, and I look at like let's say like George Kittle, Dalton Schultz, and then like Mike Gesicki. I think there's an insane gap there. But
Yep.
let's talk about the top guys. Do we think it's Andrews and Kittle? I mean, sorry, Andrews and Kelsey. There's no switching. It's either 1 and 2, switch them around, or is there? You think Pitts can really be that number 1 guy?
No, I think it's still the top 2. Pitts, like he has like the talent and everything. Like it's just I just don't trust that team at all. The Falcons are just like look really garbage to me. And I mean, who knows? I mean, it could just force feed him the ball and he'll get that volume and show why he was drafted so high. But I think there's a gap in tiers for sure. I don't know if he's gonna be in the Kelsey Andrews echelon just yet,
I think if Desmond Ridder takes over at the starter, I think his value increases tremendously because we know how valuable.
Yeah, maybe like a second half surge.
Mm-hmm. I think he's a good buy low candidate because I think if he's struggling, that means the team's probably struggling, and I think that means Desmond Ridder will come in and start for them. Jose, is there any names here that catch your eye?
Yeah, I love Dalton Schultz, especially at his ADP. Like thing about tight ends is they're so like you said, there's tiers for sure, and there's a huge drop off. Once you get to that, bottom 5, bottom 10, and Dalton Schultz, I think, is the last one of those really productive guys that you can just kind of plug in and not worry too much about it. He's gonna put up a decent floor. It used to be Hawkinson, but after last year is absolutely abysmal season. I can't trust him anymore.
Exactly, and I feel like that team wants to pound the ball, especially even though they got Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra, DJ Chark. That just seems the Dan Campbell way to run the ball on the ground. Some guys that if you're in a deep league, I think you might want to take a look at. Hayden Hurst, the clear-cut number 1 tight end in the Bengals offense, which is going to be a top 10 offense for the next couple of years. Gerald Everett, the best tight end there in Los Angeles for the Chargers since probably Hunter Henry when he departed to the Patriots. Brevin Jordan, I got to be a homer here. Miami Hurricane. Seems like to be in a position to be the number 1 tight end out there in Houston. Super athletic. He's got a kind of receiver build to him. I think you'd see Davis Mills and him develop a good connection, especially from the same draft class, came in at the same time. And Evan Ingram, I think, is worth a look. Despite his issues, despite everyone hating on this man, I think he's got all the tools. As long as Trevor Lawrence and him can develop that connection, I think he could be a guy who could have some big games this season.
Yeah, I think Njoku on the Browns is poised to finally be the guy we've always wanted him to be. There's no more Hooper. He's still only 25, even though it feels like he's been in the league since as long as I've been playing fantasy football. But I mean, he could be a really good safety blanket for Jacoby Brissett there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because there's no one else there. It's finally like his tight end room.
And I kind of felt guilty putting him all the way at 10. Do you think Dawson Knox is better than Gesicki? Do you think he's 7?
I was just gonna say I low-key love Dawson Knox because he's a guaranteed top 10 tight end for sure, and he has that top 5 upside because there were like some games last year where he like put up some pretty big numbers. Like him and Allen have like a legit connection, especially in the red zone. They have a really nice connection. And if you're getting him as the 10th tight end, I think he's guaranteed to be a top 10 tight end for sure.
Yeah, 4 games over 18 points, pretty solid. 9 touchdowns last season as well, and I think his catches are only going to go up. Any other names to note, or do you think that should be on this list? Do you think Noah Fant is irrelevant now in out there in Denver, Seattle?
Okay, I know you said you all weren't banking on Irv Smith anymore, but I might still be in on him, especially at his ADP.
What about Cole Kmet? Because I mean, who else are they going to throw to besides Mooney? Are we out on Kmet?
I don't know. I
gotta see him do something.
Zero
Yeah,
touchdowns
you gotta
last
see it to
year,
believe it.
but I don't know.
Hey, Ertz is a boring pick, but I think he's still gonna have a pretty solid season. It's
He-
just boring, but like, I mean,
He'll be viable.
uh,
yeah,
He'll
he's
be
be.
fine. Yeah.
Is
And if you're
Goddard
not gonna have one of the top few guys, like that's all you really want for your tight end. Like just be viable.
is Goddard bound for regression now? Now that AJ Brown's going to be like the clear-cut number one receiving option on that team, like, or is it still going to be relevant because Zach Ertz is gone?
I think his numbers are gonna dip a little bit, but probably not too much. He can
Because-
still be solid.
I feel like I always have him on my team, but
Yeah. He'll be all right.
he always has some decent games in there. But the lows are definitely low. So, nonetheless.
I'm out on Firemouth though. I was a huge fan of his last year, but not this year.
What's your reason for that? Too many receivers?
Just because, I don't know, like Najee, he's like the fourth option. I think the only thing that was really saving him is that like Big Ben like really looked to him a lot in the red zone. I just don't really know if that's going to hold up the same with who's it going to be, Trubisky and then eventually Pickett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? And then don't
Very
touch the
talented.
New England tight ends. I know Hunter Henry asserted himself, but you never know what Bill Belichick going to pull out of his ass. That's all.
Are you guys going to draft any Patriots?
No. Ramondre Stevenson's the only one I take a low pick on.
Ramondre.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, because like I don't know, like the Patriots are still going to be good. Like they're still
They always
compete
seem
for a
to
playoff
produce.
spot, but
Yeah, they always seem to produce, but it's like throwing a dart blind.
yeah, their skill position, like are really, really weak.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, yeah, most definitely.
These
And
guys
then,
up on waivers or trade for.
do you think Albert O is worth anything out there in Denver, the clear-cut number one tight end? Do you think him and Will? Because I mean, Wilson hasn't really had like a great. I mean, I guess Jimmy Graham, like he had a good rapport with, but like doesn't really strike me as a tight end guy. Or maybe it's just they've never had a lot of talent there.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. If he starts popping off, I'll look for him on waivers, but I don't think I'd definitely wouldn't draft him or anything.
He'll be on your waivers for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other guys before we head out of here?
No.
I expect a little better, like positive regression, I guess, for Hawkinson to the mean. And there's no way Hawkinson's going to have as bad of a season last year as he did this year.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
hope
feel like he's gonna be blocking so much. That's like all we're gonna see from him. It's just like pancaking dudes.
he's gonna get to the Pro Bowl just simply off his blocks. It's just gonna be like he's the best blocking tight end. He's got the highest PFF grade.
That's 100%. He's gonna be a PFF monster.
It's like Trevor Penning, bro.
Oh my god, that dude. But no, yeah. I mean, I guess this has been our fantasy football handbook. Appreciate you guys for listening. Of course, this episode will be broken down into pieces because I think this has been a long one, as I can see my clock over there in the corner. But appreciate you guys for listening. Hope we give you some good advice, and we're coming back with obviously plenty more content throughout the season. But this has been Coast to Coast.
Hey, shout out to Modesto Nuts, baby.
Shout out. But we're gonna talk baseball soon because I know. Hey,
Yes.
Justin Verlander pick is looking good right now. That's
Yes,
all
it is.
And my
I
judge one.
Fuck baseball. I don't want to talk about baseball.
Okay, you can be a little salty. So good. All right, but it's been Coast to Coast Podcast. Signing out. Peace.